Today we're kind of talking about contractions. Sort of. Not those contractions. Word contractions. Here we go. Attention. Better. Is. You can call it lazy, you can call it swagger, but that's how most Americans talk. Back in the day, contractions or shortenings used to be something that was only for informal speech, for a conversation between friends. And to have contractions in an official speech would be construed as improper, something improper. Today we're gonna look and practice a very simple but so often shortened preposition of. And let's listen to this clip from the past.
Marilyn, I was asking Milton what you thought of that look cover that he did of you.
I liked it very much, although I like most of Milton's pictures.
Uh-huh. Well, now, your picture has been on the cover of almost all popular magazines, hasn't it?
And you've seen a lot of changes, not only in the American landscape, but wasn't there a certain sense of noblesse oblige, let's say, among the privileged classes, a sense of duty and of service to the community?
You see, it was an entirely different setup. People who had certain advantages of birth and of money and so forth had an obligation to be kind to the poor.
No, actually, I think it's a good idea. If I ran a third time, it'd be sort of like doing a third Hangover movie. Didn't really work out very well, did it? Some of the episodes have probably been a little bit better than this. For example, the one with Bradley Cooper.
We can see that the trend of speech is becoming more relaxed, more casual, and that's because speakers and media personas are more relatable that way. I'm not going to give you a lot of examples, not a whole list of words, because this is just one concept I'm explaining to you. But first, before we jump into shortening and contracting that of, we're going to look at how to actually pronounce that preposition, because I'm telling you, you'll be so surprised, because I definitely was. You'll be surprised how to actually say that preposition, because preposition of is actually pronounced not as of, but as of. That's crazy, right? There is no F, there's no F sound in the end. There's only V sound, like in very, or ovra, or olive, of. Again, some of you might be blown away right now when cursing, and my mind was blown away when I found out about the concept, because it doesn't make any sense. You look at the preposition and then you see O, you see F, and then together you think it is of, but it is not, it's never, it's of. And then the first sound in that preposition is actually, it's not O, it's not O, it's not A, it's A. It's the schwa. It's the most commonly used vowel in English language. I'm not going to go into too much detail how to produce the sound and how to do it, but schwa, I do it in my full online course. Here, this is the schwa and of. It's a relaxed one, so you go like of. And actually, let's go back to that V sound in of. It is not so easy to hear it. It's not very audible when it is followed by a consonant. So, for example, in a combination of phrase like sound of metal, and actually you would contract, you would shorten it. That's the whole topic of our class, but we'll go back to it later. You can clearly hear it when that preposition of is followed by a vowel, like most of all. Most of all, you can clearly hear that V sound, most of all. No matter how fast you want to say it, you have to say it as most of all, not most of all. That's already something different. Most of all. Most of all. Make it very clear, and it's the V sound. It's the voiced V sound. Now, that schwa sound is very important here, because basically we're getting rid of V sound and we're just left with just one sound. So, for example, for instance, a lot of cars. 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 So, a lot, and then sound schwa, and then cars. A lot of cars. A lot of cars. A lot of time. A lot of time. a lot of time, a friend of mine, a friend of mine, a friend of mine, a friend of mine. The role of the judge, the role of the judge, the role of the judge. It's very subtle, but it is that v is not there. The role of the judge. The people of Paris. The people of Paris. The people of Paris. Now, these two are probably the most popular and you definitely know them. Kind of and sort of. He's kind of funny. He's kind of funny. He's kind of funny. Kind of funny. I'm sort of curious. I'm sort of curious. I'm sort of curious. I'm sort of curious. And this is sort of it. It's kind of it. No, this is definitely it. Kind of. Sort of. I mean, to the degree to which people decide to say or to use the contractions, use the shortenings or not, really depends on the situation, the kind of person who is talking, whether they want to get the idea across and want to say, like, again, each syllable specifically to get the idea across, or it's just a casual conversation. You don't want to stress too much, you just want to keep it relaxed and keep it sort of casual. And like with any speech class, really, my best suggestion here would be to absorb the concept and then go into the real world and then see here when people use the contractions, vice versa, when they decide not to use the contraction, and what's the reason might be behind that. And then, of course, after you observe, you go ahead and take it on, put it in your body, and then see how it feels, see how you feel saying these, see how your articulators feel about this. As usual, let me know in the comments below what you think about the video, what kind of contractions or shortenings you find the most funny, useful, or just interesting. I'm super curious to find out. Subscribe to the channel because there's a ton of other information that will be useful if you're working on your American dialect, and definitely smash that like button because it will help the video get out there and then make it visible for those souls who are searching and looking for the new material to improve their American pronunciation. It was my big pleasure to make this lesson for you here. My name is Anatolio. This is Speakology Club, and we're sort of done. Drink lots of water. Peace.